And in this video we continue looking at the articles based on the Retton Range Rover murders and the people involved. These articles looking at the appeal from Donna Jaggers.
I'd just like anyone who was with them maybe in the afternoon, who knows anything about what's happened to them, or if they see anything, to just come forward. We need all the help we can get.
Lover's tears from murdered drug baron from the 9th of the 12th, 95. The lover of one of the 3 men shot dead in their Range Rover wept yesterday as police warned of a power struggle among drug barons. Donna Jaggers, 26, said, "I would just like anyone who was with them on Wednesday afternoon, or knows anything about what happened, or has seen anything, to just come forward. We need all the help we can get." Donna lived with Craig Rolfe, 26, owner of the Range Rover, for 7 years. They had 1 child, aged 7. Rolfe should have been taking Donna to dinner the night he was killed. He was seen at 6 p.m. on Wednesday and had arranged to meet her at a restaurant at 8 p.m. Police now believe the 3 friends, all with underworld drugs links, died between 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. rather than later that night. Rolfe was found in the driving seat of the F-Reg vehicle in Retton, Essex. Bodyguard Tony Tucker, 38, was in the front passenger seat. Patrick Tate, 37, was slumped in the back. Detective Superintendent Ivan Dibley, who was leading the hunt, said all 3 had been shot in the head twice at point blank range. Tate had been shot a 3rd time in the body. The weapon, which has not been found, is thought to be a 12-bore shotgun. The men had criminal records including armed robbery, drug offences and car theft, but were not convicted drug dealers. Our intelligence is that they were moving into the drugs field, and that's the line we are currently trying to develop, said Mr. Dibley. They were higher in the scale than street dealers. It may be this has occurred over higher drugs dealers trying to find a greater position of power. Perhaps there has been a falling out in that connection. My view is that there can be a power struggle going on. There could have been a double cross and someone has sought retribution, or it might be that someone is owed money and they did not pay their bill. I think these are valid theories. Because drugs offer quick money and easy money, there is a power struggle amongst the larger dealers. Inevitably there is going to be incidences such as this occurring. I don't think Essex is worse than anywhere else, however. I anticipate that somebody will try to fill the void these deaths have created, and that there could be more violence. Mr. Dibley added, "There is a lot of speculation overnight that these killings were connected with the tragedy of Leah Betts. I must say that is pure speculation by the media. There is nothing factual to link these men with the tragedy of Leah Betts. I am afraid that if this is allowed to continue, it may well divert attention from my inquiry on this murder, and it will take me away from the real investigation. I would appreciate that the connection between Leah Betts and his triple murder is dropped. At this moment in time, there is nothing to suggest that they distributed drugs to Leah Betts or any one of her associates." E-Gang made £1 million. The 3 drug dealers found murdered in a Range Rover are believed to have recently made more than £1 million from ecstasy. The deals netted one victim, nightclub bouncer Tony Tucker, at least $500,000. The 38-year-old is thought to have been behind large shipments of the drug from Holland. A CID insider said last night Tucker was moving into the big time. He had made a fortune from ecstasy, arranging imports and distribution in Essex and East London. Hardman Tucker, a friend of boxing hero Nigel Benn, Pat Tate and Craig Rolfe were found shot dead in a Range Rover on a snow-covered farm track near Basildon, Essex on Thursday morning. They are thought to have been ambushed by 2 hitmen in a gangland feud. Police say the shotgun killings are linked to the death of ecstasy victim Leah Betts at her 18th birthday party last month. Leah lived 4 miles away from the massacre scene. The pill that killed her was bought from Raquel's nightclub in Basildon. The murdered 3 have known to supply ecstasy to pushers using the club and other night spots in Southend, Billericay, Brentwood, Romford and Ilford. One detective said there were medium-sized operators supplying the gear to a host of smaller dealers, but they were moving up the league quickly. Another detective said there were serious criminals with long records for drugs and robbery. They were making big money. The death of Leah brought a lot of heat down on the Essex drug gangs. People have been arrested, people have talked. The dead men inhabited a dog-eat-dog world where people are regularly murdered. They knew the risks, they enjoyed the profits, and they paid the ultimate price. Tucker and Tate had connections with organised crime gangs throughout London and the South. Police fear there may now be revenge attacks. A Scotland Yard officer said they are friends and family who want their deaths avenged. A woman friend of Tony Tucker told the Daily Mirror he may well be dead, but he won't be forgotten. Tucker, 5 foot 11 inches and 14 stone, was a minder to WBC super middleweight champ Nigel Benn. He spent hours each week bodybuilding in the gym. People knew Tony was someone you didn't mess with. His friend said, "He was a black belt in karate and judo. I have seen him almost break someone's neck with one blow." The Range Rover belonged to Craig Rolfe. His girlfriend Donna Jaggers, 26, mother of their 7-year-old daughter, wept as she appealed for help to catch the killers. "If anyone knows anything, please tell the police," she said. Detective Superintendent Ivan Dibley said, "Drugs offer easy money. There could be a power struggle going on, or it could have been a double cross, or someone has sought retribution. Only their mums will miss these evil beasts." Only the mothers and girlfriends of the 3 murdered drug barons wept for them yesterday. People living in the Essex mobsters' manor did not hide their relief that the dealers paid the ultimate price for their evil. Patrick Tate, Craig Rolfe and Tony Tucker were executed by a hitman in their Range Rover after being lured to a drugs meet on a snowy country track. And a pensioner calling at his newsagents near Musselman Tate's Basildon bungalow said, "There will be no tears shed for them around here. All 3 were parasites who preyed on kids. I'll be raising a glass tonight to the men who killed them. I only wish he'd got 20 more." Tate had been in and out of prison for armed robbery and weapons offences, but his grief-stricken mother Marie insisted, "My Pat was not the evil monster he's being portrayed as. To me, he was a lovely boy." The 56-year-old widow added, "Whatever he may have done, he did not deserve to die like this, shot to pieces in a Range Rover." Tate's tearful ex-lover Sarah Saunders insisted he was not all bad. Blonde Sarah, mother of his 2-year-old son, claimed he was once a lovable rogue, but he was turned into a violent beast by drugs given to him whilst he was in jail. Sarah, 28, said, "I still have feelings for him. You can't just switch off. But the man shot dead wasn't the caring man I knew. The drugs Pat took in prison changed his personality completely, and it terrified me." The pair were pictured happily together at Marie's house 3 years ago following Tate's release from a term he served for armed robbery. He wrote on the back of the snap, "First weekend home in Mum's garden." But after a 10-year romance, Sarah quit Tate's Basildon home 5 weeks ago as he ended another jail stretch. She said, "We had split up, but it's still a terrible shock when someone you have been so close to has been killed so horribly." Craig Rolfe's girlfriend Donna Jaggers broke down as she appealed for information that will snare the hitman. The 26-year-old blonde sobbed, "Anyone who knows anything or saw anything could just come forward because we need all the help we can get." Police said Tate, who was in the back of the Baron's Range Rover, was blasted 3 times in the head and chest with a 12-bore shotgun. Driver Rolfe and Tate were both shot twice in the head. Tate's death came 8 months after he survived a previous hit attempt. The man heading the murder inquiry, Chief Superintendent Ivan Dibley, said the trio were high up the drugs chain, may have been victims of a double cross. He warned of an all-out turf war between rival gangs as other villains tried to step into the void left by the victims. Mr. Dibley could not confirm whether the trio dealt in the killer drug ecstasy, or whether it was linked to the death of 18-year-old Leah Betts. 2 17-year-old Basildon youths were held yesterday and charged with supplying a drug to Leah. They will be in court next month.